Trump forces football's elite into meltdown as FIFA clears Balogun. UEFA fury explodes after Trump helps push FIFA into Balogun U-turn. FIFA's decision to let Folarin Balogun face Belgium has turned a World Cup red card into a global argument about power, rules, and political pressure. UEFA's furious response shows that the controversy is no longer just about one tackle, one player, or one knockout tie. The pro-Trump reading is simple. The United States believed a key player had been harshly punished. Trump pushed the issue directly to the top, and FIFA used its own disciplinary powers to stop what he called an injustice. The outrage now coming from European football looks less like calm respect for the rulebook, and more like fury that Washington did not stay in its lane. What happened? Balogun was sent off during the United States win over Bosnia and Herzegovina, creating an automatic suspension that should normally have ruled him out of the last 16 match against Belgium. The red card itself was not wiped away, but FIFA suspended the implementation of the one-match ban for a one-year probationary period. That distinction matters. FIFA did not say the referee never showed the card, and it did not erase the disciplinary record entirely. It used a mechanism inside its own code that allows a judicial body to suspend the implementation of a sanction, meaning Balogun can play while the punishment remains conditional. For Team USA, the effect is massive. Balogun is one of the players Belgium would least want to see cleared before a knockout match, and the timing turns the ruling into far more than an administrative decision. It hands the United States a stronger attacking threat and gives Trump a very public example of intervention producing a result. Why UEFA is furious? UEFA's complaint is built around consistency. Its position is that a red card should automatically mean a suspension for the following match, and that a World Cup cannot function if disciplinary consequences appear flexible once pressure is applied. That is the cleanest argument against FIFA. Football needs predictability, especially in a knockout tournament where one player's availability can change the balance of a tie. If one team sees a red card ban suspended, every other nation will ask why its own disputed decision was not treated the same way. But there is a weakness in the outrage. FIFA's own disciplinary framework gives its judicial bodies discretion over implementation of sanctions, and discretion is not the same as lawlessness. UEFA can call the decision unfair, unprecedented, or politically uncomfortable, but the argument that FIFA had no mechanism at all is harder to sustain. The Trump factor. Trump's involvement is the reason this story has exploded. A normal disciplinary review would have annoyed Belgium, interested lawyers, and filled a few sports pages. A disciplinary review, after Trump personally raised the case with FIFA's president, becomes a political symbol. To Trump's supporters, that is exactly the point. They see a president willing to fight for an American player, challenge an international institution, and refuse to let bureaucratic process overrule what Team USA considered a bad decision. In that framing, this is not interference, it is leadership. That will enrage critics because it cuts against the old etiquette of global sport. Presidents are expected to smile from the stands, issue polite congratulations, and avoid touching disciplinary machinery. Trump has never operated that way, and this case shows why his style can be effective. He turns process into leverage, then forces institutions to justify themselves in public. FIFA's rulebook problem. The controversy now sits inside FIFA's own rulebook. One part of the code says a sending off automatically incurs a suspension from the subsequent match. Another part gives a judicial body the power to suspend the implementation of disciplinary measures for a probationary period. That tension is not invented. It is the entire dispute. Belgium and UEFA are leaning on automatic suspension. FIFA is leaning on discretionary suspension of implementation. Both sides are pointing at rules, which is why this has become a fight over interpretation rather than a simple claim that rules were ignored. The problem for FIFA is perception. If discretion is used rarely, late, and in favor of the co-host nation's star striker after direct political contact, the governing body will have to explain why this was principled rather than convenient. Even if FIFA had the legal power, it still has to protect the credibility of why that power was used here. Why this helps Team USA. For the United States, the sporting advantage is obvious. Balogun's availability changes Belgium's preparation. gives Mauricio Pochettino another attacking option, and keeps one of the tournament's most important American players in the knockout picture. It also changes the psychology of the tie. Instead of entering the match wounded by suspension, Team USA enters with a sense that it fought the system and won. That can harden a squad, energize supporters, and build the feeling that the tournament is bending toward the hosts. Trump will understand that better than anyone. World Cups are not just tactical contests, they are national theater. By inserting himself into the Balogun case, he turned a disciplinary technicality into a moment of American defiance. What happens next? The immediate question is whether Belgium, UEFA, or other football authorities escalate the challenge through formal appeal routes. Even if Balogun plays, the argument will not disappear, because any American win over Belgium will now be judged through the shadow of this ruling. The bigger consequence is precedent. Every future red card controversy will be measured against the Balogun decision, especially when a major player, major nation, or politically powerful host is involved. FIFA may have solved one problem for Team USA, but it has created a sharper question for world football. If the rulebook allows discretion, who gets it, when do they get it, and why?